What is up, guys? Welcome back to Hot Rod Homestead. I appreciate you coming back. Today is going to be a little bit about the dually. So we've got a couple things going on. We will be changing the clutch in it. So Twig has been driving it for nearly a year now, and we had a tire, something go bad with a tire. Had Chris out at Silver City Tire fix it for us. I went out there to pick it up, and holy smokes, it literally took me 10 minutes to get out of his driveway. So with that being said, what we did whenever we were building this thing, you know, we were on a huge budget, just trying to make it work. And that being said, I cheaped out on a clutch. I just got something off of, I think it was Amazon maybe, which has worked for over 5,000 miles. So it's okay, but it's really stiff. So it's really hard. It's a stage 2 or 3 clutch. So with that being said, I just bought one that is like a factory spec for a 02 Silverado. It's a loop clutch from Summit, and it's just a factory spec, no big deal. A little bit of slip to it, so hopefully it will increase the drivability. So what I'm gonna do, this thing's been sitting for a little while. Twig's got a new truck, so it hasn't been driven that much. This thing has officially spent its first week at my house ever. So with that being said, I'm gonna wash this thing real quick. We're going out to Cummins Collision with all my buddies, Justin, Tim, Taylor, Twig, you know, everybody works out there, and we're gonna throw it on the lift on the inside so that we can kind of get it out of the weather a little bit, swap this clutch out, and hopefully we got a little bit of a easier daily driver on our hands. So stick around, gonna wash this thing just to knock the winter off of it real quick, and we'll be headed out to Cummins Collision Center. Stick around, let's swap this clutch out. So it actually cleans up fairly nice. Still got to hit the hood a little bit better. There's some natural patina there, but overall, she cleans up pretty good. I can't complain. Let's go throw us a new clutch in this thing. Might even daily drive this thing a bit. Stick around, let's do it. Okay, so we have pulled Larry into Tacoma Collision Center to their lift. Twiggy's back there setting up a camera, getting ready to get everything kind of started. So what we are going to do, we're going to pick this thing up, pull the drive shaft, pull the transmission. We're going to pull this clutch out, and if you can't tell, this thing is really hard to drive. And going down the road, you're fine, but from a dead stop, this thing's really tough. So we're hoping to fix that today. So we're gonna get this thing up, start pulling it apart. I will open up the new clutch, check it out, make sure we got everything that we need, and we'll be underway. Let's jack this thing up, and I hope this is a different truck whenever we pull it off this lift. Fingers crossed, let's fix it. So we've got everything under here pulled. Transmission's ready. Cross member's out. It's actually just pulled back here. We had to pull the exhaust. Hopefully we fit past all this stuff here. We're ready to come out. Let's tug it. All right, so we got the transmission out. Twig is currently pulling the bolts for this clutch. We got the other one over there in a box. That is a Luke. This is just an old cheapo. I think it came off, might have came off eBay.
Amazon, I think.
Was it Amazon?
Yeah, I think you ordered off Amazon.
It was just an old cheap one. So we're gonna yank this thing out of here. I think the pressure plate's too heavy. It's actually a Clutch Max. If anybody's seen it, it's like a stage 2 or 3. It's just too much for the setup. So we're gonna pull it out. That loop there is a factory style.
You mean it's too much for our left legs?
It's too much for our left legs. So we're gonna throw that one in. Hopefully drive it off this lift a little bit easier than it drove on. so here is our new Luke clutch. Twig is holding our pressure plate. Twist that around for us, Twiggy. So this is just a factory style Luke for MV4500. Let's see if there's a part number here.
Looks like it's on side.
Just a Luke clutch. There we go. 04201 clutch kit. This is for 2002 2500 Silverado with the MV4500. Simple single disc clutch. Right, there's another little look at some part numbers. That right there. So we didn't put too many miles on that other setup. Flywheel is pretty clean. Just a little, it's got a little hot, no big deal. There's no pits to it. You can't feel any surfacing to it, so we're totally fine there. So we're gonna put this one up and let it ride. See what it does. All right, guys, so we had a pretty rough go with that clutch. For some reason, my clutch bolts, they weren't acting quite right. We actually had to run to Home Depot to get a different set of bolts and lock washers for it. So torqued it down, everything's good. Twig is actually currently up in the dually, tightening up the shifter. Everything seems to be pretty good. We've buttoned up the exhaust, drive shaft, everything looks pretty good. O2 sensor, everything's plugged back in underneath already. So as soon as he does that, I'm actually probably about to drop it down while he's doing that. And we will go ahead and start bleeding this clutch, making sure everything's good, and fingers crossed it's gonna be a little bit better. So hang tight, we're about to find out.